because maybe not all of you were here yesterday, but there are 4 features of karma. Maybe first I should say this. In general, the very subtle workings of karma are what we call extremely hidden phenomena. Okay? So, basically, when we talk about all phenomena, then there are 3 levels. There are manifest phenomena, phenomena which can appear to our eyes, you know, eyes and sense consciousness, no problem. Then there are hidden phenomena. Then hidden phenomena, for us to realize for the first time, we have to use inference or reasoning consciousness to first realize it. They can't just appear to us. So within hidden phenomena, there are slightly hidden phenomena and extremely hidden phenomena. Slightly hidden phenomena are, for example, if we are somewhere and then on the far away mountain, the next mountain, yeah, we see some smoke rising, yeah. Through that we can infer the presence of fire, even though the fire doesn't directly appear to our eyes. Yes? Yeah? Can we realize there's fire there? Okay?
Yes.
Okay, try to give me the,
yes,
you know. Okay. Alright, right? So, but we can realize it. Realizing means we can be kind of incontrovertible about it, okay? So this kind of inference is like inference through the fact, okay? Just by the fact that we know a relationship exists between the cause fire and the result smoke. When we see the result smoke, we know that it has to have risen from fire, okay? All right. So that's what we call a slightly hidden phenomena. Then a very hidden phenomena is one that we have to rely on the testimony of Buddha, basically, to validate for the first time. So you see many times in the sutra, for example, the Sutra of the Wise and the Foolish, many other sutras, they'll come to the Buddha and there'll be a kind of strange occurrence. And then they'll ask the Buddha, like, oh, what were the karmic deeds that these people have done in the past whereby now, you know, whatever. For example, there would be a fire and, you know, 49 people die in the fire, but 1 doesn't. So they say, okay, what was the cause that this happened? And then the Buddha will say, okay, in so many past lives ago, then there was this situation and, you know, these people did this and these people did that, and therefore, now it's like this, right? So the particular one-to-one kind of relationship between these people, say, now dying today in this kind of situation, right? And tying that to, you know, 17,429 lifetimes ago, they did this, and now they're experiencing that, is only the direct purview of Buddhas. Okay? Right? But in general, there are certain features of karma that the Buddha then taught to us so that we can get some kind of understanding about karma, the purpose of which is that we can then take care of our actions so we can then you know, create the causes for pleasant and happy situations in the future and avoid bad ones, okay? So those features are that karma is definite, from virtue comes happiness and from non-virtue comes suffering. That karma increases, so from a small action can come big results. That everything we experience is the effect of karma that we've accumulated in the past. And once a karma is accumulated, the results don't disappear. Yeah? You got those 4? Okay? All right. Now, when we talk about results, then we have more features, right? So let's take the example of killing. From the action of killing, we'll have what's called the ripening effect, or from an action of killing, we will be reborn that'll project us into a lower realm of rebirth, okay? But then, even after we're reborn in the human body, we will have what's called actions in accordance with the cause, meaning we will have a great liking and disposition toward killing again. So this you can even see, like some children, they will, they'll see like a mound of ants and they'll very happily stomp on it and kill them. Some children will be predisposed to, stealing from stores or whatever, right? Yeah? Okay. Whereas others won't. Okay? So this is also karma. Then the next is a ripening result in accordance with the cause. So there's ripening action, right? That we're predisposed to kill or steal. And then we'll also experience, as a human, a short life, many diseases, and so forth. Okay? Then there is also an environmental effect. Okay? Whereby, for killing, we will live in a place where there's a lot of war, where medicines won't be effective, where there'll be drought, and obstacles for living a long life. Okay? So like that. So actually, of all of the those effects, which is the worst? The worst, they say, is that we then have the predisposition to commit those negative actions again, right? And why that's the worst is, okay, even if we're reborn in lower realms, that, okay, it just happens once, and then that karma is finished, and then, okay. But as we get more and more disposed to doing negative actions again and again, that provides the fuel for rebirth again and again in samsara. So in that case, our samsara never ends, right? Okay, so those are the general features. Now, when we look at a situation like this, there is also talk of collective karma, okay? Now, on the good side, all of us here in this room together, we've come with a virtuous mind, I hope, yeah, an interest in trying to better ourselves and develop ourselves so we can be of more and more benefit to others, right? So this already, we are, good news, we're creating the karma collectively to do this again in the future together. Yes, nice, right? So there are many instances like this where, you'll see in the Buddha's past life story that his main disciples, Shariputra, Moggallana, and so forth, they had also practiced with the Buddha before he became Buddha, and they over many lifetimes practiced together, and then when Buddha manifested enlightenment, they also were in his retinue and practiced with him, right? Okay, so that's the good side. On the not so good side, then also when you hear stories of like a plane going down, there was one just in Egypt, right? Then 224 people died or something, right? Then that also is the effect of some kind of collective karma done, okay? So now how can that happen? How can that happen is, well, in like an army regiment or something, right? There could be 224 people in a particular battalion or company, and then they carry out some kind of attack somewhere, right? But on a larger scale, and what's a little bit scary for us is, when like an entire nation, I'll just say as an example, right? Then when, for example, Osama bin Laden was killed, yeah, then in many places in the US, there was dancing in the street kind of thing, right? So many people then were very rejoiceful about that. Now, to commit an action of killing, one can either do it themselves, ask someone or order someone or hire someone to do it, or if you rejoice, meaning being happy, oh that's so good, in someone else doing it, all three collect the same kind of karma of having killed, right? So when a lot of people then come together and they are rejoicing in someone else being killed, they all collect the karma of having killed, okay? And not only that, it explains in the Vasubandhu's Abhidharma Kosha that, for example, an army general, right, who orders his, say, 1,000 troops, yeah, each to go to war and kill, if each of the 1,000 troops kills like one soldier, each of those troops gets the karma of having killed one, but the general gets the karma of having killed 1,000, okay? So it becomes very, very dangerous, and we have to take care. Now, lest I be misunderstood, this is not to justify what Osama bin Laden did or anything like this, right? Yeah, but in general, this thought of, okay, no matter whom it is, right, the thought should be, and maybe some do have this thought, that preventing you know, a terrorist from killing more people, you know, is a good thing. But even that should be from the standpoint of compassion for that person, thinking that if the person continues to kill, he or she is only harming himself further and will have to experience negative suffering results in the future. There's a very famous story of the Buddha in one of his past lives when he was like a merchant, you know, on a sailing ship, right? And there was 500 other merchants with him, and they, you know, go, I don't know, trading, yeah, merchants, right? And then there was one pirate aboard who was then going to kill all the other merchants, and then take all their wares. And then the Bodhisattva at that time, he had some level of clairvoyance and saw what was going to happen. And he thought, well, wow, if this pirate then goes on and kills these 500, very strong and heavy negative karma, which will cause him to suffer greatly in the future. So having unbearable compassion for the pirate, then said, okay, I have to prevent this. I will kill the pirate. And even if I have to get reborn in the hell realms, yeah, no problem. Because me experiencing the suffering is okay, but it's unbearable for me to think of another sentient being having to experience this, okay? So, motivated by compassion, then engaging in an act of even killing, right? So that actually can become a virtue because the motivation is virtuous. But I wonder, you know, with some of these other situations, right? If that kind of strong sense of compassion is there, or if we have, like the gentleman said yesterday, this thought of like revenge, you know, or, you know, getting retribution on this, yeah. So that's also there. One thing I did want to say to you, sir, is you said like this law of karmic retribution. So karma in and of itself is just like cause and effect. When we use the word retribution, at least in my mind, there's this connotation of like revenge, or, you know, like there's a scorekeeper or a judge who is, you know, who sees past actions and then is like dishing out punishments, right? So it's not like that. It's just more like when the cause is there, the result will come, right? So if we have engaged in, say, killing, then that throws into starts up this cause and effect process, at the end of which we will be killed in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, how's that? Yes? Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
In the case of a terrorist,
Okay.
for example, I'm one. From the time the terrorist is born,
Yeah.
as a child,
Yeah.
he's taught that killing is good.
Yeah.
So he thinks it's karma, it's good
Yeah.
karma.
Yeah.
And then he says you put a bomb around your body,
Yeah.
and you go and kill those people who are not good.
Yeah.
Then what happens to the terrorist? He thinks I'm doing something good.
Yeah.
So, like we have come into this temple, I feel that I'm going to receive good karma.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way, you understand what I mean to say?
Yeah.
So what does the terrorist feel? He feels he's doing something
Yes.
good.
Yes.
They have been brainwashed right from the childhood.
Yes. Yes.
This
I
is
know.
what is happening in the Arab world.
Yes.
That is
Small,
why they say
tiny,
whatever we are
tiny
doing,
dots are being taught
and then they
Yes.
say
how
that
to
we
become
are
a
going
terrorist.
into
Yes.
heaven after doing this.
Yes.
So have
So-
you done good karma or bad karma?
Of course, nobody can help it, but it is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Okay. Now here we go. No, I like it. I like it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So, all right. So there's a few questions in there. Let me just say, it is bad karma. Okay. So in the traditional commentaries, right? Now this is another thing about karma. For a karmic action to be complete, different factors need to come together. Okay. So let's just take the example of killing, and then you can apply it to other actions, right? So for an action of killing to be complete, there needs to be the object of killing, meaning a living being, okay? Then there needs to be what's called the thought. Now in the thought, there's a few factors there. There is the recognition, right? Which is to recognize that the object to be killed is a living being. Okay? And that has to be unmistaken. Okay? Then there has to be an intention to kill, right? Not just wound or, whatever, right? And then third is there has to be an afflictive emotion that motivates that killing. Now here, in the afflictive emotion, in the traditional commentary, they talk about three afflictive emotions. You can kill out of anger, meaning like you come home and find your wife in bed with someone else, and then you get jealous and kill, right? Attachment. So we might have attachment to the taste of a particular animal, and thereby, kill. And the last is, Rita, ignorance. And here ignorance is, like for example, believing that doing some kind of animal sacrifice will somehow please a god and lead to liberation, okay? So this kind of wrong view is, an affliction that motivates killing, right? So although they have been brainwashed or whatever, from being a child, and they might believe that that's a good thing, it doesn't make it a good thing, right? And so they will commit a negative action. And then just for completeness, then what also has to happen is then the action needs to take place, either through poison or whatever, shooting or something, right? And then lastly, the completion of the action, the object has to die. Okay? If those are in place, then a full karmic action is accumulated. If one of those isn't in place, then a full karmic action isn't accumulated, but that doesn't then mean everything's okay, right? If someone wishes to kill and then shoots, but only shoots in the arm and doesn't kill, that doesn't mean okay, freebie, It's still a negative action, but it's not a negative action of killing, okay? So also you should bear this in mind, some people, they freak out, they're like, oh yeah, I got home and then I saw on my shoe, on the bottom of my shoe, there was a cockroach. I didn't mean to kill, am I going to hell? Right? So there was no recognition of the cockroach, nor was there intention to kill. Okay? Anyway.
Excuse me, can you please repeat the 4 karmic actions? Recognition and what promise?
Okay, there is the object, right? Recognition that the living being is a living being.
Okay.
Yeah? Intention to kill, right? Yeah. Motivation, one of the 3 poisonous minds. Yeah? And then the action and the completion.